There are places on this planet where the word no doesn't mean a suggestion. It means a boundary written in stone, in law, in blood. Places where trespassing isn't a fine or a warning. It's a death sentence. Where the very act of arrival is an act of defiance against forces far older and far more powerful than any government, any fence, any sign. Today we descend through 10 of them. 10 locations where humanity has drawn a line and said, you cannot go here. Not because we're afraid of what you'll find, but because of what will find you. Before we begin, I want to know, where are you watching from right now? Drop your country and your time in the comments. We read every single one, and I'm curious to see how many nations this reaches. Let's see how global we can go. This is the countdown. This is the forbidden. Number 10, Uluru, Australia. In the heart of the Australian outback, rising 1,142 meters from the red earth, stands a monolith so sacred that climbing it is no longer permitted. Uluru, formerly known as Ayers Rock. For decades, tourists trekked across the desert to scale its face. A rite of passage, a conquest, a photograph. But in October 2019, the gates closed. Not because the rock was unstable, not because climbers were dying in significant numbers, but because the Anangu people, the indigenous custodians of this land for over 30,000 years, asked the world to stop. The Anangu have a law older than any nation. Uluru is sacred. The climb is a desecration. Every footprint on that rock is a wound to their spirituality. For millennia, they watched outsiders ascend. They asked politely. They asked firmly. And finally, in 2019, the Australian government listened. Today, if you visit Uluru, you can walk around it. You can photograph it, you can feel its presence, but you cannot touch its summit. Thousands of climbers have left their marks. Scratches, names, footprints worn into stone. But no new marks will be added. The rock has reclaimed itself. The Anangu understand something we often forget. Some places don't belong to us. Some mountains are not meant to be conquered. Number 9. North Brother Island. United States in the East River between the Bronx and Manhattan. There is an island that time forgot. North Brother Island. 2 acres of crumbling concrete, rusted metal, and the skeletal remains of a hospital that once housed the city's most contagious patients. In 1885, North Brother Island became a quarantine station. Typhoid patients, smallpox victims, yellow fever cases, the unwanted, the dying. They were shipped here, isolated from the city they loved, to spend their final days in institutional silence. The most famous patient was Mary Mallon, Typhoid Mary, a cook who carried the disease in her body without ever showing symptoms. She infected at least 51 people. 3 of them died. In 1915, she was forcibly confined to North Brother Island. She spent 23 years here. She died here. She was buried here. The hospital closed in 1963. The island was abandoned. Nature began its slow reclamation. Vines consumed the buildings. Rats multiplied in the darkness. The structures decayed into monuments of neglect. Today, North Brother Island is off limits, not officially forbidden, but practically unreachable. The waters around it are treacherous. The buildings are structurally unsound. The island is a nature preserve now, a refuge for nesting cormorants and herons. Humans are not welcome, but sometimes on quiet nights, people report seeing lights in the abandoned hospital, shadows moving behind broken windows, the echo of footsteps on empty corridors. Whether it's the wind or whether it's memory, no one can say. But North Brother Island keeps its secrets, and it does not invite visitors. Number 8. Lascaux Caves, France. 17,000 years ago, in the darkness of a limestone cave in southwestern France, human hands pressed against stone, ochre pigment, charcoal, blood perhaps. And around those hands, artists painted the animals they hunted. Horses, bison, deer, wild boar. The hands of the dead, reaching across millennia. In 1940, a group of teenagers discovered the cave. They descended into the darkness and found themselves in a cathedral of prehistoric art. The paintings were pristine. The colors were vivid. It was as if the artists had finished their work yesterday. Word spread. Tourists came. Thousands of them. They breathed. They touched. They brought moisture, bacteria, fungal spores. The paintings began to fade. Mold bloomed on the walls. The delicate pigments that had survived 17,000 years began to die in real time. In 1963, the French government made a decision. Lascaux would close. Forever. Today, the original cave is sealed. No one enters. Not researchers. Not archaeologists. Not even the most prestigious scientists in the world. The paintings are protected by darkness and distance and law. But the hunger to see them remains. So France built a replica. Lascaux 4. A perfect facsimile, down to the microscopic detail. Visitors can walk through the copy and experience the wonder without causing the damage. It is a compromise between human curiosity and human responsibility. Yet sometimes, in the sealed darkness of the real Lascaux, the original paintings continue their slow fade. Protected from us, preserved by our absence, the hands of the ancient dead, finally left in peace. Number 7. Juisi Grand Shrine, Japan. In the mountains of Mie Prefecture, Japan, there stands a shrine so sacred that most of humanity will never see its inner sanctum. The Juisi Grand Shrine, home to Amaterasu, the sun goddess, the supreme deity of Shinto, the most important religious site in all of Japan. For 2,000 years, this shrine has stood in the same location. But here is the extraordinary part. It has never been the same building twice. Every 20 years, the shrine is completely dismantled. Every wooden beam, every stone, every artifact is taken apart. A new shrine is built, identical in every detail, on an adjacent plot of land. The old shrine is destroyed. The process repeats, eternally. This is called Shikinen Sengu, the renewal ceremony. It is a ritual of impermanence, a spiritual acknowledgement that nothing lasts forever, that renewal is sacred, that the cycle of death and rebirth is the only constant. Only Shinto priests may enter the innermost sanctum. Only they may approach the sacred mirror that is believed to house the goddess herself. Cameras are forbidden. Photographs are forbidden. Even detailed descriptions are forbidden. What happens inside remains inside. In 2013, the most recent renewal ceremony took place. Thousands of priests participated. The old shrine was dismantled with reverence. The new shrine rose in its place, and the mystery remained intact. If you visit Ise today, you can walk the grounds. You can feel the spiritual weight of the place. You can stand before the barriers and sense what lies beyond, but you will never cross them. The goddess keeps her distance, and the priests keep her secret. Some places are not meant to be fully known. Some mysteries are sacred precisely because they remain mysterious. Number 6. Doomsday Vault, Norway. On the island of Spitsbergen in the Arctic archipelago of Svalbard, 100 to 300 kilometers from the North Pole, there is a vault carved into a mountain, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, a backup plan for the end of the world. Inside this vault, at a depth of 120 meters in a temperature-controlled chamber, there are seeds, millions of them. Samples from nearly every crop species on Earth. Wheat, rice, corn, beans, fruits, vegetables, grains. A genetic library of human agriculture, preserved in case civilization collapses. The vault was built in 2008. It is designed to survive nuclear war, asteroid impact, climate catastrophe, pandemic, famine. The permafrost keeps it frozen. The mountain protects it. The isolation ensures it. Access is restricted. Only authorized personnel may enter. Scientists, government officials, seed bank representatives. The general public cannot visit. The vault is not a museum. It is the insurance policy. In 2017, something unprecedented happened. The vault flooded. Melting permafrost caused by Arctic warming seeped into the entrance tunnel. The seeds themselves remained safe. They are stored in sealed, waterproof containers. But the message was clear. Even the most secure places on Earth are vulnerable to what we have set in motion. The vault has been reinforced. New drainage systems have been installed. But the warning remains. We have created a place so important, so necessary, that we must keep it hidden from ourselves. A seed vault for a world that might not survive. If you travel to Svalbard, you can see the entrance. You can stand before the heavy steel doors, but you will not pass through them. The future is locked away, and we are not permitted to see it. Number 5. Tomb of Qin Shi Huang, China. In 1974, farmers digging a well in Xi'an, China, struck something hard. They had uncovered the edge of the greatest archaeological mystery of the modern age, the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of unified China. For 2,200 years, this tomb has remained sealed, not by accident, by design, by imperial decree, by the will of a man who conquered a nation and then spent his final years preparing for the afterlife. The emperor's mausoleum covers an area of 56 square kilometers. The main burial chamber lies beneath a 76-meter-high mound. Inside, according to ancient texts, there is a replica of the entire empire, rivers of mercury, mountains of precious stones, crossbow traps designed to kill grave robbers, the emperor's body, preserved and waiting, but the tomb has never been opened. Archaeologists have excavated the surrounding areas. They have found the famous terracotta army, 8,000 life-sized clay soldiers, each one unique, each one a masterpiece. They have found chariots, weapons, treasures, but the inner chamber remains sealed. Why? Because opening it would destroy it. The mercury rivers would evaporate, the wooden structures would collapse, the artifacts would crumble. The very act of excavation would be an act of destruction. And so the Chinese government has made a decision. The tomb will remain closed, perhaps forever. Qin Shi Huang spent his life conquering. He spent his death preparing. And now, in the darkness beneath that mound, his empire waits, untouched, unseen, protected by the knowledge that some mysteries are more valuable than their answers. You can visit the mausoleum. You can see the terracotta army. You can walk the grounds where the emperor once walked. But you will not enter his tomb. The emperor has his privacy, and archaeology has its limits. Number 4. Surtsey Island, Iceland. On November 14, 1963, the ocean off the coast of Iceland began to boil. Lava erupted from the seafloor. Steam rose in columns thousands of meters high. And from the chaos, a new island was born. Surtsey Island, named after Surtur, the fire giant of Norse mythology. A volcanic island that did not exist one day and existed the next. A place where you could watch the earth being created in real time. Scientists descended on the island. They wanted to study it. They wanted to understand how life colonizes a barren landscape, how plants arrive, how animals follow, how an ecosystem builds itself from nothing. But to do that, they had to protect it. They had to keep it pristine. They had to prevent human contamination from skewing the results. So Surtsey was declared off limits. Access is restricted to a small number of authorized researchers. No tourists, no casual visitors. No one is permitted to set foot on the island without explicit permission. For over 60 years, Surtsey has been a natural laboratory. Lichens have arrived on the wind. Seeds have drifted across the ocean. Birds have nested. Insects have colonized. Life has found a way, unguided by human hands. Today, Surtsey is one of the youngest islands on Earth. It is also one of the most protected. You can see it from a distance. You can photograph it from a boat, but you cannot touch it. The island belongs to science. The island belongs to nature. The island does not belong to us. In a world where every corner has been mapped, every mountain has been climbed, every ocean has been crossed, Surtsey remains a place of discovery, a place where the earth is still speaking, and we have chosen to listen in silence. Number 3. Vatican Secret Archives, Vatican City. Beneath the Vatican, in a climate-controlled chamber, there are documents, millions of them. Letters, decrees, confessions, testimonies, the written history of the Catholic Church, spanning over 1,600 years. The Vatican Secret Archives. Not secret in the sense of hidden. They are acknowledged, cataloged, studied, but secret in the sense of restricted. Access is granted only to scholars, researchers, and historians with specific credentials and explicit permission. What lies in these archives? No one fully knows. The Church has released some documents, the Inquisition files, letters from Galileo, correspondence with monarchs. But vast sections remain closed, entire centuries of Church history locked away. Why? The Church claims it is a matter of privacy. Confessions are sacred. Personal letters are confidential. Some secrets, the church argues, belong to God alone. But rumors persist. Documents about the Inquisition that have never been released. Letters from popes discussing matters of doctrine and power. Evidence of historical events that contradict official narratives. The archives are a black box. We know they exist. We know they contain crucial information, but we are not permitted to see them. If you visit Vatican City, you can see the entrance to the archives. You can stand before the heavy doors, but you will not pass through them. The church keeps its secrets, and the world waits, wondering what truths are locked away in that underground chamber. Some knowledge the Vatican believes is too dangerous to share. Some history is too sensitive to reveal, and so the archives remain sealed, a monument to the power of secrecy, a reminder that even in the modern world, some doors remain closed. Number 2. Snake Island, Ilha da Queimada Grande. Brazil, off the coast of São Paulo, Brazil. There is an island so dangerous that the Brazilian government has made it illegal to visit. Not restricted, not discouraged, illegal. Snake Island, Ilha da Queimada Grande. A rocky outcrop just 43 hectares in size, covered in dense vegetation, and inhabited by one of the deadliest concentrations of snakes on Earth. The island is home to the golden lancehead viper, a species found nowhere else on the planet. Highly venomous, aggressive, and abundant. Estimates suggest there are between 1 and 5 snakes per square meter. Walk 10 meters through the jungle, and you will encounter dozens of them. The vipers are not afraid of humans. They do not flee, they attack. Their venom is potent enough to kill a human in hours. There is no anti-venom. There is no cure. If you are bitten on Snake Island, you will die. The island was inhabited until the early 1900s. A lighthouse keeper and his family lived there. One day, the keeper's daughter was bitten by a viper. She died. The family abandoned the island. No one has lived there since. In 1985, the Brazilian government officially banned civilian access. The island is now a nature reserve, protected by law. Only authorized researchers with special permits and protective equipment are allowed to visit. Why preserve such a deadly place? Because the golden lancehead viper is endangered. Its venom is being studied for potential medical applications. The island is a living laboratory, a place where one of nature's most dangerous creations thrives undisturbed. If you travel to Brazil, you can see Snake Island from a distance. You can see the rocky shore, the dense vegetation, the place where death waits. But you will not land there. The snakes have claimed the island, and the law protects their claim. Some places are forbidden not because we fear what we will find, but because we respect what lives there. Snake Island is a reminder that the Earth does not exist for our exploration. Some corners of the world belong entirely to nature. Number 1. North Sentinel Island, India. In the Bay of Bengal, part of the Andaman Islands, there is an island that does not appear on most maps. North Sentinel Island, a place so isolated, so hostile, so absolutely forbidden, that it represents the last true frontier on Earth. The island is home to the Sentinelese people, a tribe of approximately 50 to 400 individuals. No one knows the exact number. They have lived in isolation for thousands of years. They have never made contact with the outside world. They have never wanted to. The Sentinelese are not primitive. They are not lost. They are not waiting to be discovered or civilized or saved. They are a people who have made a conscious choice. We do not want you here. And they enforce that choice with lethal force. In 2018, a young American missionary named John Chow attempted to reach the island. He believed he could convert the Sentinelese to Christianity. He hired fishermen to take him to the shore. He waded into the water. Within minutes, he was struck by arrows. Multiple times, he fell into the sand. The Sentinelese emerged from the jungle and finished what they had started. His body was never recovered. The Sentinelese dragged it into the forest. They did not want it. They did not want him. They wanted him gone. This is not a legend. This is not a disputed account. This is documented fact. John Chow is dead, killed by people who wanted nothing more than to be left alone. The Indian government has declared North Sentinel Island off limits. The waters surrounding it are patrolled. Boats are turned away. Helicopters are forbidden from flying overhead. The island is protected by law, by military force. by the absolute determination of a people to remain separate from the world. Why? Because contact with the outside world would destroy them. Disease would sweep through their population. Their culture would be erased. Their autonomy would be violated. They would cease to exist as they are. The Sentinelese understand something we have forgotten. Isolation is not a curse. It is a choice. It is a right. It is a form of freedom. North Sentinel Island is the most forbidden place on Earth because it is the only place where the inhabitants have the power to enforce that prohibition. They do not ask for permission. They do not negotiate. They do not compromise. They kill. And the world, finally, has learned to respect that boundary. Desfecho. We have descended through 10 places. 10 locations where the word no means something. Where boundaries are not suggestions. Where the forbidden is enforced by law, by nature, by the will of people who refuse to be conquered. These are not places that are forbidden because they are dangerous, though many are. They are forbidden because they are sacred, because they are fragile, because they belong to someone else, because they represent the last corners of a world that has not yet been fully mapped, fully exploited, fully consumed. There is a lesson in these 10 places, a lesson about respect, about limits, about the recognition that not everything on this planet exists for our exploration. Not every mystery needs to be solved. Not every boundary needs to be crossed. The Sentinelese have it right. The Anangu have it right. The scientists protecting Surtsey have it right. Some places are more valuable when they remain forbidden. As you leave this video, I want you to think about that. Think about what it means to respect a boundary. Think about what it means to say no. Think about the places on this earth that do not want us and ask yourself, do we have the right to go there anyway? If you made it this far, you are part of a community that understands the power of mystery, that respects the forbidden, that knows there are still places on this planet where we do not belong. Subscribe, turn on notifications, because next week we are going deeper. We are going to places even more impossible, even more extreme, even more beyond the reach of human understanding. The planet is vast, the mysteries are endless, and we are only beginning to understand how little we know. This is the forbidden. This is the edge of the world, and there is so much more to discover.